When Ravichandran Ashwin recently retired from the IPL, it was a landmark moment, not just in Indian cricket, but I'd say in T20 cricket per se. And it's not because one of the finest exponents of spin bowling had called it time on his career. It was because he was the last man standing, the last of the Mohicans, the last person who was a conventional off spinner who was also successful in the shortest format of the game. Before him, there was a Harbhajan Singh, even a Muttiah Muralitharan who did very well in the T20 format. Now, off spinners are nearing extinction in T20 cricket. Why is it that we say that? Let's take a look at some numbers and you'd be able to make up your mind. Now, we dug out some numbers. First of that is, how many offies were there in the top 20 wicket takers in the last 10 IPL seasons? As you know, T20 cricket is evolving. Every year things are changing rapidly. And if you take a look at the last 10 seasons, there's only been 2 off spinners that have finished in the top 20 wicket takers. 2016, not a single off spinner made it to the top 20 wicket takers. I'm not even narrowing it down to 10, not in top 20. Ditto for 2017, 2018, 2019, you get 2 in Harbhajan Singh, Ashwin. 2020, the lone man in Ashwin. Of course, by now Harbhajan Singh has left the stage. And then 21, 22 Zilch, 24 Zilch, 25 Zilch. And there is an Ashwin in the middle in 2023. So in all of these 10 years, you've only had 2 off spinners come in the top 20 wicket takers. Of course, the total is 4 because we're counting each time that they've made in the top 20 wicket takers. Now, there is a, of course, caveat there. We've put right at the end that both Sunil Narine and Mujeeb, they have featured a few times on this list, but we've classified them as mystery spinners. They can get the ball to move anyway, so they do not come in the list of your classical off spinner. Now, to another metric. In 2024 T20 World Cup, how many teams played an off-spinner in their 11? We've taken a look at the top 11, 12 test-playing nations and saw how is it that they went about their business in the T20 World Cup. Is it just restricted to the IPL or is it in T20 cricket per se? Only one team, Mehdi Hassan of Bangladesh, was the only one, a regular off spinner who made it to the 11. No other team fielded even an off spinner in their playing 11. There were a few in Moeen Ali for England, Mohammad Nabi for Afghanistan. But remember, they make the team primarily because they are all-rounders on the dint of their batting. Theekshana was the other one. But of course, as we mentioned earlier with Mujeeb in our previous metric that we saw, Theekshana is classified as a mystery spinner. So once again, no space there for an out and out off spinner. Last 3 years, how many times an off spinner featured in an IPL playing 11? We took a look at the T20 World Cup. Now just see the gradual decline that you see here. 2023, in 28 games out of 74 games, only 28 did you see off spinners play. Majority of those figures were dominated by Ashwin and Lalit Yadav, a little bit to Jayant Yadav and Ritik Shokeen as well. So there you get 28 out of 74. At least you had 4 off spinners plying their trade in the IPL. 2024, that number drops to 18 out of the 74 games, and now you only have Ashwin. 17 out of those 18 I think come from Ashwin. Krishnappa Gautam only got 1 game. So Ashwin again, the lone warrior, keeping the flag flying for off spinners in 24. 25, further drop, 9 out of 74 games, all those 9 games played by Ashwin. So you see a consistent drop, not only in terms of number of matches, which were anyway minimal in 23, now it drops down to just 9. Not only in number of matches, but also the number of spinners that are featuring, only left with Ashwin. You don't know what happens going forward from here. Again, there were a few other bowlers that were there in the list that could have altered this list, but that is Narine, Mujeeb, Theekshana. As you know, we've already classified them as mystery spinners, so not off spinners. So you could see it is a steady decline and almost bordering on extinction right now. What are the prime reasons now off spinners are fading in T20s? Firstly, ball coming into the hitting arc. It's a natural turn that comes in, majority of your batters, because there are few lefties, majority of the batters are righty, natural arc, it allows them to swing their bat, and then they prove to be expensive, and that is why captains really don't go with them, which is why left arm spinners are still there. They're also finger spinners. Left arm spinners are still there. Your leg spinners are still playing, but off spinners, captains don't rely because of these two reasons. Then short boundaries. Sometimes the off spinner would tempt a batter, even if it is a natural arc, tempt him, maybe bowl a slower one, tempt him to get out. But now the boundaries are becoming smaller. You also have space for the chair leaders, so ropes are really bought in. So even miss hits now go for sixes. So short boundary is also not encouraging off spinners to continue. And then there is that crackdown on bowling action. Remember, there was a time a lot of off spinners would wear full sleeve jerseys, and try and get the dusra going, and now most experts have concluded that it probably isn't easy to get the dusra without your arm having a bit of a bend. You've seen someone like a Sunil Narine come under scrutiny, most other bowlers come under scrutiny. So dusra then, with that 15-degree rule, has completely gone out of play, which doesn't allow the off spinner to take the ball away from a right-hander batter. So these things put together is ensuring that off spinners are becoming a rare breed in T20 cricket. What does one of the premier off spinners have to say about the current scenario of off spinners in T20 cricket? Harbhajan Singh says, and I quote him, "Off spin in T20s is a dying art, but it's because of off spinners not looking to take wickets. They're scared to get hit. If you have this mentality, then you will never succeed." So Harbhajan is saying a batter's job is to score runs. He will swing. You as a bowler should have the heart. So what he's trying to say is that more and more off spinners are trying to ensure that they don't get hit for too many runs. They're concentrating on their economy, and because of that they're not getting wickets. So if they started flighting the ball, experimenting a bit, even if they got hit, if they kept going for wickets, more and more captains would want to play off spinners. So he says it's not just the fault of the format, it is also the fault of the bowlers and the mentality that they have. You let us know what you think, but where things stand right now, you've reached a scenario where someone like a Washington Sundar, just to let you know what the scenario is at the moment, a Washington Sundar, he is a test level off spinner. He's picked up wickets recently in test match cricket, India and England. He played the last IPL primarily as a batter for Gujarat Titans. He barely bowled 11 overs throughout the season in how many ever games he played for Gujarat, but predominantly a man who started as an off spinner. Is a very good batter, but was playing as a batter for Gujarat. This tells you how things are evolving and how there is no scope for off spinners. The only way off spinners can play if they come up with a different technique or they come up with another facet to their game like batting. So they offer something else, so they get into the team, or they become mystery spinners, or rather than the conventional finger spinners like that, which gives an overspin or a side spin, they start using their fingers differently and get the ball to go away from right-handers. That's the only way they can survive. But then they are not off spinners. They are, as I said, mystery spinners. That takes me to someone that I've had the pleasure of knowing in Saqlain Mushtaq. He used to say, and I asked him once, you're a great off spinner. What would you do if the captain did not give you a delivery? Because nowadays captains only give off spinners the ball when a left-hander comes into bat. What would you tell the captain if he did not get you to bowl if a right-hander was batting? He said, I will snatch the ball from him. And he summed it up very well. He said, you know what? It is not just about spin, and if the ball is turning into the right-hander, that's not the only skill. You can beat him in so many different ways, even a right-hander. There is a drift you can beat him, there is a flight that you can beat him. If you're a crafty off-spinner, you will find ways of succeeding, even in a format like T20 cricket, where the batter is aggressive. Do you think it's an issue with mentality, or do you think it's the state of the game that renders off-spinners helpless? Do let us know in the comment section. Give us a like on the video if you enjoy our content, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.